I'm here again with the second part of the lesson, weather. Now, in the last class, we had read about weather and how the sun, the clouds, the rain and the wind affect weather. Now, in clouds, there are some different names for the clouds. Now, one type of clouds are called the cumulus. If they are puffed up clouds, like that, they are called cumulus. And dark rain clouds, we see the black clouds or grey clouds in the sky before the rain, that is known as the nimbus. So two types of clouds. One is the puffed up cloud. Whenever you can look to the sky, you can find puffs of snow or like that. They are called the cumulus, and the nimbus is the dark rain clouds that you see before a shower. Page 167. Too much of rain can cause floods. Floods damage crops and cause loss of property and life. Lack of rain causes droughts. If droughts continue for a long time, there is scarcity of food and water. So just in the last class I had told you, if there is too much of rain, there will be floods, and floods causes damage to the farmers, the fields, and many animals lose their homes. Many people have to come out of their homes because water enters their houses, and then many factories are submerged under water, roads are submerged under water. So there's a great loss of life and loss of property too if there is a flood. Now, if there is a drought, that means there is hardly much of rainfall. Also, what happens? The fields go dry without any water. So the crops will dry up. The farmers face a loss once again. Animals will die due to lack of water. People also will find that the wells and tanks in their houses are drying up and they have to fetch water from miles afar. So lack of water is also a very sad thing for us because we lose a lot of agricultural produce, loss of animal life, and even people will die due to the thirst and the heat. Coming to seasons.
Mom, listen. Some months ago, we had been to Missouri to enjoy the cold there. But now it is cold here too. Yes, Arjun. This is because the season has changed from summers to winters. Oh, is that so? But how did it happen? Arjun, seasons change every few months because of Earth's movement. Friends, like Arjun, you must have wondered that how does the movement of Earth brings about changes in seasons? Let us find out the answer for this query. Let us learn about the two main seasons, summer and winter. During summers in India, which is generally from the month of March to June, the upper half of the Earth is tilted towards the sun. In result, the days are longer than the nights, and the sun remains in the sky for a longer duration. The sun rays fall straight and directly on the upper half of the Earth, making more light and heat reach this part of the Earth. During the winter season in India, which is generally from the month of November to February, the upper half of the Earth is tilted away from the sun. As a result, the nights are longer than the days, and the sun remains in the sky for a shorter duration. The sun rays fall slanted on the upper half of the Earth. Hence, less light and heat reach this part of the Earth. Now let us see what causes the change in the seasons. We all know that the Earth revolves around the sun. The axis of the Earth remains tilted in one direction as it revolves around the sun. During a certain period in the year, half of the Earth faces the sun, while the other half faces away from the sun. The half of the Earth that faces the sun receives direct sun rays, while the other half of the Earth receives slanted sun rays. This is the position of the Earth during March to June. Now let us compare the distance between the points CM. CM are the points from the North Pole to the Sun. BK are the points from the south pole to the sun. These points help us understand that the upper half of the earth is closer to the sun. During the period of March to June, the upper half of the earth is tilted towards the sun. So, this part receives direct sun rays and thus gets more heat and light. This means that the upper half of earth has summer during the period of March to June, whereas during this period, the lower half of the earth is tilted away from the sun. This half receives slanted sun rays, thus gets less light and heat. During this time, the lower half of the earth experiences winters. The earth revolves around the sun on a definite path, called the earth's orbit. The position of the earth keeps on changing as it revolves around the sun. The earth travels to the opposite side in 6 months. That is why there is a change in seasons. The earth is shaped like an orange. As we move up from the equator towards the poles, the sun rays become more and more slanted. Thus, the polar regions receive very little sunlight and heat, and they remain covered in ice throughout the year. We have learned how the seasons change according to the movement of Earth.
The period during which the weather remains almost the same for many days is called a season. Now you see, from June to September, almost every day it rains, morning and afternoon and evening. Some days it rains continuously from morning till night. Some days it rains for 2 hours in the morning, then maybe 1 hour in the afternoon, then again in the night. So practically the weather remains the same for 2 or 3 months, that is from June to September. When the weather remains the same for a particular period of time, then it is called a season. There are 3 main seasons in India: summer, winter and rainy season. Effect of weather and seasons. Weather and seasons influence our lives in many ways. During summer, we like to eat ice cream and drink cold juices. We wear light cotton clothes and like to sit near fans. Because it is very hot, we sweat a lot. So naturally we like to take a lot of fruit juices so that we don't get dehydrated, and we wear cotton clothes because cotton clothes are very light and allow the movement of air, and we love to use the air conditioner or the fans. All this is in summer, and children love to go in for a treat for ice cream. On cold winter days, we like to have hot soups and drinks. We wear woolen clothes and like to be out in the sun. Now it's just the reverse in winter. In winter you like to have hot chicken soup, hot mushroom soup, hot tomato soup, all that makes your body warm. You wear woolen clothes. Wool is got from the sheep, so you wear woolen sweater or cover yourself with a shawl, then you wear gloves and then socks and muffler and a monkey cap. You want to keep yourself warm, so you have a lot of woolen clothing on you. And you like to play in the sun because that keeps you warm. Whereas in summer, you do not like to go out in the sun, you want to stay indoors. Seasons also decide the type of houses people build and the food they eat. In places where it rains and snows a lot, houses have sloping roofs. This is because rainwater and snow can slide down the roof easily. Also in places where it rains a lot, people generally eat rice. This is because rice crops need a lot of water to grow. Now you see the picture, a house with a sloping roof. Now in areas where there is heavy rainfall or heavy snowfall, the houses don't have flat roofs, they have sloping roofs. They have sloping roofs. Now why this is made is because the rainwater or the snow that falls will run down and will not be able to stay there on the roof. That is why these houses have sloping roofs. And you can also see that people who live in areas where there is a lot of rainfall, they are fond of eating rice because rice grows in a place where there is a lot of water. So how the rainy season has affected the life of the people? Because there is a lot of rain, there is a lot of cultivation for rice, and the people are bound to eat that crop rice. So rainy season has affected the food habit of the people. And then the way the structure of the house is made was also affected by the season, where there is a lot of rain. What happens is, when the rainy season is there is a lot of water, and if the roofs are built with sloping roofs, the water will run down the roofs and the water will not stay on the roof. So in rainy areas and in places where there is a lot of snowfall, the houses have sloping roofs. With that, the lesson has come to an end. Now let's move on to the exercises. Match the following. 1. Hot day. E. Cotton clothes. 2. Rainy day is umbrella. C. 3. Stormy day is uprooted trees. 4. Cold day is woolen clothes. 5. Cloudy day is hidden sun. Now write true and false. First one. Weather changes from day to day is definitely true. 2. Strong winds are called breeze. False. It is gentle wind. 3. Too much of rain can cause droughts. False. They cause floods. 4. We wear light cotton clothes in winter. False. We wear them in summer. 5. People build sloping roofs in places where it rains a lot. That is true. Now going on to the next exercise, the question answers. What is a weather? Now the weather, as I told you, it is about the change in temperature, rainfall and wind in a particular area or a particular place. That is known as weather. Why is it warmer at noon than in the morning and evening? Now in the morning and evening, the earth receives the slanting rays of the sun, whereas in the afternoon, the sun is directly overhead and it receives the direct rays of the sun. So the mornings and evenings are cooler than the afternoons. 3. Why are cloudy days cooler? Now in a cloudy day, what happens is the earth does not get the direct rays of the sun. The clouds prevent the direct rays of the sun reaching the earth, and so the temperature remains a bit cool, and that is why you have a cloudy day is much cooler than a sunny day. 4. In what ways does the weather affect our lives? Now we build our houses, our dress habits and even our food depends a lot upon the season. For example, people living in areas where there is heavy rainfall, they have their house built with sloping roofs. And even people living in the areas where there is a heavy rainfall, their staple diet is rice, because rice needs a lot of water for its growth. With this, we come to the end of the question answers. Let's move on to life skills. Miran was playing in the hot sun on a Sunday afternoon. His mother asked him to come inside. 1. What season is it most likely to be? It says hot sun, so it is summer. 2. How can you stay safe and healthy in this season? Yes, when it is summer, we should not play out in the hot sun. We may get a sunstroke, and better stay indoors, play indoor games and drink a lot of water so that we do not get dehydrated. Values for life. Many people in India suffer from floods and droughts every year. How can such people be helped? By sending financial aid, or by sending them food packets, or sending them clothes which are not torn or damaged. Good clothes that can be worn, that are in good condition, can be sent to these people who live in flood-stricken areas. Now the next one is a hot question. The drawing showing the sun shining on a ball kept on a sheet of paper. What will happen to the shadow of the ball as the sun moves to the dotted position? You see the picture there, the sun and the ball on a sheet of paper. Now tick the right answer. The shadow of the ball will disappear, become shorter, become longer, become rounder. So what will happen is, it will become longer as it moves to the dotted position. This is all for today. Your homework will be to do A, B and C in the notebook. Thank you.